Hello everyone, and welcome to my 3000 subscriber Q&A special. But before we start, I just wanted to thank all you guys for the support and stuff from the past 1.5 years, and for subscribing, watching, and all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's get into the questions. First of all, we've got, what are your thoughts on Season 20? Well, from the episodes we've seen so far, I think it'll be my top 5 favourite seasons list. Because Love Me Tender and the Railcar and the Coaches were really well done episodes, because the last time we saw Donald and Douglas speak in an episode was Season 12, which was a fair few years ago, and Daisy was all the way back in Season 4 in Bullseyes. So it was really cool to see them after all this time. And their personalities haven't changed, obviously, and their animation and their renders are really nicely looking and aesthetically pleasing. Henry Gets the Express was also good because Henry was in character and not a wimp for like the first time in a while, and in saving time, Sir Handel got his first speaking role in a while, and that's all good. But I think it would be nice to see a Skarloey Railway orientated episode and an Arsdale Railway episode, perhaps a small railway engine story adaptation, so Tit for Tat, Mike's Whistle, and Useful Railway. But I digress. Who is your favourite railway series narrator? Definitely Willie Rushton. I really like his voices for the engines, and Ted Robbins is alright, but he doesn't put that much enthusiasm into his voice as Willie Rushton does. And Johnny Morris he's okay as well, but the noises he makes are just annoying and off-putting. So, what's your favourite railway series book and why? I'm going to have to say Mainline Engines, because it has some of my favourite characters like Bill, Ben, and Boko, and Edward. And The Disease is one of my all-time favourite episodes as well, so... Buzz Buzz was also a classic, although I prefer the railway series version of the story with Bert and Alf, the two porters and whatever, instead of the TV series version with the Reverend and whatever. But, please don't shoot me. So, which railway series remake are you most pleased with? Probably Overhaul, seeing as it's got such a good reputation. And I feel like I put a lot of effort into it, so it paid off, definitely. And thanks to all of you who've liked and commented and whatever on that video. So, what is your favourite trains model? Well, I can't really name a favourite one, because there's a lot of good ones. But if I had to name a few, then definitely the Sodor Island 3D 2012 range, because the 3D faces are really nice. Excuse me. Wild No West's models are good as well, even though some people don't like them because of their design or whatever. One being Railway Series James, but I digress. Sodor Workshop's models are really good as well, because they've got the 3D faces and they've done characters that haven't really been done before, like Ryan and Glyn and Whiff and Hero, so that's all nice. And they're all really nice looking in game, especially in Tane with all the graphics and lighting and whatnot. So, do I own any Thomas merchandise? I do. I have a lot of Trackmaster stuff and Earthals from childhood. And I also have the small railway engines in Take and Play. And I'm in the process of collecting Wooden Railway. I've got about 18, 20, something like that. Different engines. And I'm going to collect some more. I have a Brio Tornado as well, which I'm probably going to give a face, but I don't know yet. How are you? I am fine, thank you for asking. How was your day? Well, I found a bird in my loft, and apart from that, I'm alright, I guess. What did you have for breakfast? The time I'm recording this, I had bacon and eggs, so that's not usual, it's just today. But whatever. Who are you? I honestly have no clue. I'm a person, I guess. What are your thoughts on The Great Race? I think it gets too much hate. I mean, it could have been better, but at least it wasn't god-awful. Some things, like the Diesel subplot, felt shoehorned, and Thomas disliking the newcomer thing's been done twice before, with Ryan in Lost Treasure and Stanley in The Great Discovery, so... Another thing I didn't get was why Sodor had 6 engines going, when all the rest, apart from India, had only 1. That seems kind of unfair, right? But the animation was really nice, and when you take a step back, you gotta remember that it's a kids show, so the animators are appealing to them, so because they're the target audience and whatever. And the people who say that it was a special just for merchandise need to realise that Thomas can only continue with merchandise. So no merchandise means no income means no budget means no animation, and no animation means no show. But if I had to, I'd rate it a 7 out of 10. It's good, but could have been better and stronger in some places. The songs as well, they were really nice to listen to, especially You Can Only Be You and Will You Won't You. There were some good songs as well. Who is your favourite Thomas and Friends story writer? Apart from Wilbur Awdry and Christopher Awdry, I'd have to say Davey Moore, because he's written a lot of my favourite CGI era episodes like Love Me Tender, Railcar and Coaches, Percy's Lucky Day, Duncan the Humbug, Toad's Bright Idea, and Duncan and the Grumpy Passenger. How long does it take to make a Trains remake? It depends really, usually on the length of the episode or story or whatever. If the episode's like one of the classic ones and it's 4 minutes 30 seconds, then it would take less time than the CGI era episode with which is 8 minutes 30 seconds or around that time. And usually the stories take longer than the episodes because with the stories you only have one image and some text to go by, but with episodes you've got like you've got visuals as well, so you can see where everyone is, what everyone's doing, etc, etc. So that depends on it. Oh boy. What are your thoughts on the Thomas Creator Collective? I'll start with the positives then. The music for the episodes is really nice. Nathan, Tuggy, Tynes and Toby's Windmill do amazing jobs on the scores for each of the episodes, and they're really nice to listen to when released individually. Some of the custom models are well done, such as this, but something like this really needs improvement if it's to continue appearing in something that's going on the official Thomas and Friends channel, because obviously there's going to be like a lot of people watching. I believe it's got almost 450,000 subscribers at this point, so yeah, that's just something to work on. Now for the negatives. I won't say too much, as it can be summed up in the video here. Things like the Steamies vs Diesel plot and the Mrs. Cow joke is definitely overdone and overused and really gets boring and annoying after a while. Also the writing kind of drags out the episodes, so they go on longer than they should do, usually. But something I do like is the eye and face animation that's been seen in recent episodes, like this. Well done to whoever did that. But again, I'm not saying a heap, as it can be summed up in the video I said before. So yeah. How was your Halloween? Pretty average. I was on holiday in Edinburgh at the time. I didn't usually trick or treat anyway, so I just ate food and watched TV in the hotel room, as you do. Are you going to do another original story? Yes, hopefully. I want to do Rusty and Fred in the future, but seeing as this is my final year in school and I have exams to do in May, it probably won't start production until June, July time. But Efficiency got such a good reception, so I'm definitely going to do another one. Which character would I like to see return to the show? Alright, I know my opinion's going to be the same as everyone else's, but Boko, Duke and Stepney. But I also wouldn't mind seeing some of the season 9 to 12 one-offs again, like Molly, Dennis, Neville. But those three I listed before are my priority. Who is your favourite female character from the show? Again, I'm going to sound generic, but probably Daisy or Mavis, because Daisy's personality is really unique than the other females. Because characters like Belle and Ashima and Emily have all the I want to help personalities, so that kind of gets boring. And Daisy's quite unique in that respect. Mavis has the I want to help personality at the moment, but in earlier seasons, like season 3, she had stubbornness, because she didn't want to listen to Toby in Mavis and Toby's Tightrope, so she and Daisy are quite unique. And the rolling stock, probably Henrietta, because she's a good friend and is willing to help Toby because of his old age and whatever. And speaking of which, Hasty Hannah is an upcoming episode, and I want to see what Hannah will be like, because apparently she's going to be like the opposite of Henrietta or whatever. Can I have your pants? Come and get them, Andrew. What would you do if Thomas ever ended? I'm not too sure. It doesn't look like it's going to be ending anytime soon though, given the circumstances. But it'll probably depend on why it ended and how old it'll be and stuff like that. Models or CGI? Now I know this has caused a bit of controversy before, because people say People say things like, oh, CGI can't beat the model series, but if you take a step back and think about it, one, the 1980s, which was season 2 and 3, was a good time for the models because CGI was quite basic, and yeah, they were good at the time, and some of the model sets, like the Skarloey Mid-Soda Railways in season 4, they were beautiful, and CGI was quite basic in the 80s and 90s. But it was developing, but now it's 2016, and I suspect HIT want to give a more modern outlook on the show, so CGI is a good way to go. Besides, at this point the models will have probably stopped working properly, and also, if we still had the models in the show, we couldn't go and see them on display in places like Japan and Drayton Manor, and plus we don't get the errors the model series had, like the blue tack, wrong face masks, broken parts, and visible camera crews and hands in the background. CGI is modern and it's 2016. The model series, the models were good for its time, but everything changes, so we just got to get used to it. Who is your favourite engine? Donald and Douglas, definitely. Which railway out of the big four is your favourite? On the contrary to many fans who prefer probably the LNER, I prefer the LMS for a couple of reasons. For one, it's closest to home, and Black 5 is one of my favourite designs of steam engine, and obviously that worked on the LMS. So, and third reason, my great-grandfather was a steam engine driver and diesel engine driver on the LMS, and my grandfather got me into railways when I was a kid, so that's why I prefer the LMS. Which railway series story is your favourite? If you mean Railway Series exclusive story, then probably Super Rescue. Is there going to be a sequel to Snow Twin Disaster? Hopefully, but I'm not making any promises though. We need to write it, obviously, and it's already November, so I don't know. Which video are you most proud of? Probably my remake of Busy Going Backwards. That's got a lot of good reception, and people seem to like it a lot, so yeah. Which Great Race song did I like the best? Either, as I said before, either You Can Only Be You or Will You Won't You. What's your favourite colour? I have about 6 favourite colours. Red, green, blue, orange, purple, and cyan. Do you like Super Mario Logan? Never heard of him. Do you like YouTube poops? Yes, I do. Some of my favourite Thomas poopers are Keeper of Beans, Bioko Island Films, and Lickety. Are you interested in Nintendo? Not as much as I was, although I do have a Nintendo Wii and a Nintendo 3DS XL, so... What area did I grow up in? I grew up in the northwest region of England, hence why I like the LMS. So, yeah, I'm not going to say anymore, because you're all weirdos. What are your favourite hobbies? Probably going to railways, making videos, playing games, collecting merch. I like to play a bit of football now and then. How long have you been into railways? For as long as I can remember, really. Thomas was a big part of my childhood, and my grandparents have a lot of railway DVDs and videos, so... and books as well, so sometimes when I go over there I just watch them for the fun of it, and look at all the engines and whatnot. So who are your top 5 favourite characters? Duck, Donald, Douglas, Bill, and Ben. What are your top 5 episodes? Right, I have a lot of favourite episodes, so I don't want to name all of them, but if I had to choose 5, The Diesel, Old Iron, The Flying Kipper, A Close Shave, and Toad Stands By. I just picked them from seasons 1 to 4, because I know then the purists won't get angry with me. Are you going to use Railworks for any remakes? I doubt it, since there's nowhere near as many engines available in Railworks than in trains. Wilbert or Christopher Stories? I'm going to be generic and say Wilbert's. What's your favourite soda? I'm going to say fizzy drinks, so Lucozade, Monster, Mountain Dew, Coke, and Pepsi. Which station on Thomas's branch line is your favourite? Well, Farquhar, obviously. Hence my name. What do you think of the CGI series? Like I said before, the CGI series is good because it's modern and you don't get the errors like you do the models. However, Ark's animation and probably Jam-Filled Entertainment's animation is probably better than Nitrogen's because the sets look nicer and the faces look a bit better, like the face colour. And in the Great Race, the shaky camera was a nice touch. So, who's your favourite CGI series character? Sir Robert Norrenby. I'm not going to say a specific engine because I like quite a few of them, but Sir Robert Norrenby has this bubbly personality that makes you laugh, especially in King of the Railway, where he's like taller, bigger, bolder, and whatnot. Thoughts on Tugs? Tugs was a great TV show, and it's a shame it only got 13 episodes, and it had a really nice season 2 to 3 feel. because most of the props were used in Season 3, Season 2. And if I had to give a favourite character, Top Hat, and my favourite episode would be High Tide. So if you haven't seen Tugs, I would recommend it. All the episodes are on YouTube, so go watch. If Andrew Brenner were to leave, who would you want to replace him? I have no idea, honestly. I'm terrible when it comes to writers, so I wouldn't know. Ertl or Motor Road and Rail? Ertl by far. Now then, why did I start making YouTube videos? There's quite a bit of a story behind this. In August of 2014, 2 fan-made series came up in my YouTube recommendations. They were Sodor the Early Years and The Engines of Sodor. I gave the 2 a watch and I was really interested in them both, and I created an account called Far Cry Engine Productions and posted a video saying that I'm up for voice acting any character that anyone might have available. Of course, this was back before I had the standards, you know. And that remained the only video on the channel until October 10th, where I made a small dedication video for 30 years of the show. And I bought trains around November-December time and joined the wiki on December 7th, I believe. But my old laptop couldn't handle trains well, so on my birthday, January 31st, I got a new custom-built desktop PC and I installed trains on there, and it ran much smoother. I made a video using Henry on the Island of Sodor route, and in April I made the first episode of my series, which is now debunked because I didn't feel like carrying on with it and the episodes were pretty bad, so yeah. However, this did cause me to gain a fair few amount of subs, so I continued to make videos, progressively improving. I removed the productions part of my name, just kept it as Far Cry Engine because longer names is not very pleasing to the tongue, if you know what I mean. And then I met one of my good friends, Jerome, Thomas Fan Forever, and then he introduced me to everyone I now know in the fan base. Well, not everyone. He introduced me to people who then introduced me to more people, etc, etc. And so, yeah, that's how I met all my fan base friends. And that sounds kind of corny, but what the hell do I say? And now here we are, 3.2k subscribers and counting. Thank you everyone for your help. Who is your favourite Railway Series engine? Bear. Which engine do you want to be streamlined? It might sound like a bad question, but I wouldn't mind seeing Henry streamlined. That could be cool. What is your all-time favourite episode? The Diesel. Which character do you dislike the most? Billy. Definitely. He appeared for like 1 episode and did bugger all apart from annoy Thomas, which was pretty pointless if you ask me. I know, yeah, again, I know it's for kids, but yeah, you don't have to agree with my opinion. Is the 10 Seconds of Thomas collab still a thing? Yeah, I'm going to be announcing the 3rd one in the coming months, but as I said before, I've got exams to do this year, so I don't know what will happen, but I'll have a long summer in next year, so I can work on a lot of stuff then. Why did I want to do remakes? I wanted to do my own take on one of them, even though that sounds like really generic, but and people seem to like them, so I carried on doing them. How do I get subscribers? You stop messaging me, Denver, you son of a bitch. What other TV shows are you interested in? Aside from Thomas, I like The Simpsons, Futurama, Family Guy, The Loud House, Ed, Edd and Eddy, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and the original Powerpuff Girls and Ben 10. However, the reboots of the latter 2 suck eggs. If given the opportunity, would you collaborate with Valdemar Resta? Well, it depends. If I was to voice in a series, then maybe. I don't know. What is your favourite Christmas episode? Letters to Santa, definitely, because the Percy and Harold dynamic and the Percy and Harold CGI flashbacks, like Percy and Harold parts of that episode were remade in CGI, and that was really cool to see. So what other YouTubers do you watch? I watch a lot of other Thomas YouTubers, so I'm not going to name all of them, but I regularly watch Pyrocynical, Scarce, sometimes Leafy, iDubbbz, Ashens, and Michael Rosen YouTube poopers. I watch others as well, but they're the main ones. What is your favourite Tinsel on the Tracks episode? Love Me Tender. Are there any good TTT users you recommend? Everyone on my featured channels list, the people in the Thomas Creator Collective, people on the Sodor Workshop's Discord, and the Fat Hat if you enjoy light humour, wink wink. What are your top 3 favourite TTT specials? Lost Treasure, Adventure Begins, and The Great Race. Why are you my child? God knows. Why haven't you KYS'd? God knows. How do you feel your channel and your fanbase has impacted you personally? What? I have a fan base? I thought 3K people clicked subscribe by accident. Jokes aside, I wanted to thank all my friends and viewers for the support you've given me over the past year and a half. You guys are awesome! XDD. When will Mainland Studios narrate for you again? When the TCC becomes good, badumtsk, which should hopefully be very soon. What are your aspirations for future content? Just to keep going the way I am and producing videos for my viewers and subscribers. I would like to remake some uncommon stories. For example, I just finished Henry and the Express, which doesn't usually get done that many times. And I have Wilbur the Forest Engine planned for the future when Nick does the thing. What are your thoughts on Shed 17? Well, Project G1 is really the talk of the town right now, but I'll link a DeviantArt post that I made last year about it. Have I seen Tobias and the Half Pariah? I did, and I think it's a very unusual but creative film. Tynes and his crew did an amazing job on it, and I'm excited for Arcane Merchant next year, I believe, when it comes out. Which famous engine would I like to see in the show? Well, since Falling Scotsman recently made a comeback, I'd like to see him again, and I'd also like to see City of Truro again, because he appeared in Gordon the Famous Visitor, or for someone to introduce someone like Mallard, so maybe he and Spencer could have some friendly banter or whatever. Do I exist? Maybe, maybe not. I'll let you draw your own conclusion, Jam. What planet are you from? Here's a clue.
And finally that world that can't be mentioned in polite company. You mean... How dare you!
Do I believe in gremlins? I've never really thought about it before, but I guess not. Why did I choose the name Far Cry Engine? Well, I thought of a station on the Northwestern Railway and just put engine after it. But, something like Knapford Engine. Knapford's been done multiple times. Tory Wreck Engine. That doesn't sound very good. But then I found Far Cry Engine, that sounds quite good. But most of the other stations, Kildane Engine, Kelsthorpe Engine, Peel Godred Engine, they don't sound that good, but Far Cry Engine sounds pretty good. Do I plan to have a trains website when I actually make something? Who is your favourite YouTuber? I can't really name a favourite, probably one in the lists I gave earlier. What kind of computer do I use and how did I get it? It's a custom built PC that my local PC store built for me, and I'll link the specs in the description so you guys can take a look. And finally, which train simulator is my favourite? Railworks is good for realism and Trains is good for remakes, so they both have good qualities to them, so they're both good, yeah. And that concludes the Q&A. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out.